Welcome back to 0 to 60
Today we're checking out XHP's latest map version of their Stage 3 maps.
for the ZF6 transmissions, and it looks like a good one.
So this is you had a quick drive yesterday, but it was literally just to the shops and back. I think this difference is insane. Like, the mannerisms of the car are so much better than they were before. So what we're going to do on this video, guys, we'll cut in a piece in the corner so you guys can see the tacho throughout the whole drive and see how the gearbox is sort of acting. But what they've changed, they've pretty much made it sound like with this flash you turn it into a ZF8 speed, don't they?
Yeah, well in the spiel, the blurb they released about this update, they actually referenced the ZF8, and I mean everybody knows that ZF8 is an amazing gearbox in all of driving conditions, but they said some of the trickery or the amazingness of the ZF8 isn't just due to the extra gears and the hardware, but a lot of it comes from the software, and they've managed to replicate or integrate into these ZF6 boxes. So it sounds promising.
Yeah, when I first read about the update 3 or 4 days ago, I just focused on the fact that they've increased line pressure, and to me that means it's going to hold the gears better on a high power shift when you've got mods, and obviously doing the big turbo soon on this, that's a big concern, how this gearbox is going to hold up.
That's what you want. One of the things I noticed when you sent me that blurb, or that I thought was quite cool, is their changes to the sport mode and how it would
dynamically pay attention to the brake pedal on
So
downshifts.
as you are, just becomes more aggressive, so as you're slowing down into a corner, it starts more aggressively down changing.
And blips the throttle. It almost sounds a bit like a DCT.
It's pretty bloody cool.
Now I actually glanced over that feature initially, and when we just read it back before, I was like, shit, it does do that. I had a hard brake section coming into some traffic lights, and it was like race car mode. So hopefully, as you can see, driving around town, this is buttery smooth. Like, it is unquestionably the best this gearbox has felt since I've had the car. And I have had a bit of a rocky history with this gearbox. So I've had the car for coming up 6 months now. When I first got it, the gearbox was a bit, how you going? And I went through the normal process of, oh shit, what did I do? I've done the
Fluid?
I did the fluid, and I've also done the bridge seals, the 4 tubes that go between the mechatronics unit and the main valve body, and a filter change. I ended up doing, I think I did 2 filter changes to try and just flush out all the old fluid, because I don't think it had ever been serviced before. I also, after that, then loaded XHP Stage 3, and the gearbox was pretty good. It wasn't perfect, and if you've been following this car over the last 5 months since the videos have been out, you would have seen that I wasn't ecstatic with the gearbox. However, eventually towards the, I can't remember when we did it, cannot keep up, but towards the end of last year, like December time, I ended up putting new shift solenoids in, and with the new solenoids it was shifting pretty damn good, and that's when we first started to consistently get under the 5-second mark on the 0 to 100 runs. It's been pretty good since then, until today. Well, actually 2 days ago when I put this on. It just feels amazing. I haven't done too many flat out shifts, but I think it's quicker. Like, it feels like the power stays in for longer on the shift.
When we were in it before, obviously you weren't caning it too much, so I didn't experience too much of the performance side of it, but to me, I mean, you were still into it a little bit, but not crazy. That didn't feel hugely different. But if I'm not, with the XHP, obviously, it's got, when you're in D mode, it also has the gear selector next to it. But if it didn't have that, I don't think you'd be able to even tell when it's changing gear. Yeah. But especially from the driver's side, you don't notice. It is incredibly smooth for these E90 3 Series. It's helped make it feel like a bit of a newer vehicle. And performance aspects aside, just for the smoothness, XHP is worth the money. We're coming up to a bit more of an open road, a bit out of town now, so I will, someone's backing out onto the street. I'll put it into sports mode. You can see it's downshifted, and we'll see if we get that dynamic blip. Yeah, there it is. Straight away.
That was a bit of a heavier brake. We'll let it down into first, and we'll go up through the gears.
Pulling pretty good.
She is, yeah. They feel like really good solid shifts. I think it's going to be a lot quicker. It has to be quicker.
Even the obviously this car is quite modified. It's putting out a lot more power than a stock 335. but it is starting to feel like you're driving a 135 or something with a ZF8, because it's going through the RPM range quicker because you've got the extra power, and then the way it upshifts, it's just bang, and it starts climbing again.
I'm confident it's removing the torque on the shift for less time. It's got to be quicker. And it doesn't, it's the downshift blipping again. It is more aggressive, but it's smoother than it was before.
Well, talking of the smoothness, in sports mode, obviously, just then, that's very... Jesus Christ.
That's definitely just the speed limit.
So that's...
I'm going to go back to D mode.
That's what, yeah, I was going to say, in D mode before, going back a few streets, pulling into the roundabout, when it's in sport mode, when you stop, it goes boom, and you notice it straight away. But I reckon, in that, going on up that roundabout on Sugar Road, I reckon it must have been in 4th or 5th, and you braked, and we didn't even feel the car change gear or RPM change or anything, but as you went to pull away onto the roundabout, it was in 2nd. So it's changing down multiple gears without you even noticing.
Yeah, it's really good. Actually, what we might just do before we go and do the proper time runs, I'll go back to sport and I'll go back to manual, and we'll just run through the gears in manual mode. And I'm going to short shift so you can see how it shifts at a lower RPM.
It's fast.
Yeah, it feels more like a ZF8, where it would, on the lower RPM shifts with the old software, it would still shift quite low. You'd only get the fast shifts right around the top. Well, that's what it seems like anyway.
Yeah, to be able to do that with software is phenomenal, because I've just never loved automatic gearboxes.
Until you drove a ZF8 speed.
Yes, correct, yeah, until then, sorry.
And then I was expecting this to be the same, but it just hasn't been. Let's give it another bit of stick.
Yeah, that's very ZF8-like. That's awesome.
All right, I think we've got to do what we do. We've got to go and see, with the V-Box, if it's any quicker.
Well, let's do it.
Let's get into it.
This is going to be it. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay,
we're ready again. We're good. Yeah, that feels good. I backed off. I was like, it's breaking down. Okay, yeah, nothing to write home about. 4.86 and 3.94, 60 to 120. 1, go.
Shifts feel better. How we go?
5.05.
Slow as hell.
3.71, 60 to 120. So felt better. That was 3.78, 0 to 100.
Still slow.
So yeah, so still no records, and 3.52, 60 to 120.
I'm confused.
See what happens. That was good. That felt good. What did I do? 4.71, 0 to 100. Yeah. And 3.58, 60 to 120. Okay. Ready to go. 4.76 was the 60 to 120. 3.6. Fuck me. That felt strong. That was 4.76 again. Actually bang on. That was 3.55, 60 to 120, 60 to 120, so that was quite good. Okay, we're good. This feels quick. What does the V-Box say? That was 4.96. That one was a bit more happening then.
So,
I'm confused.
a little bit. Okay, a lot. I was confident we were going to go out there and just break all the records. Break the 60 to 120s and break the 0 to 100s, because it feels so much better.
It does.
But we didn't, it went slower. Now, we need to make sure everyone understands, like we've done, there'd be thousands of 0 to 100 runs on all different cars, and so many little factors will have an impact on the time that car does on that day. And if you're into dyno tuning, dyno tuners will say the same thing. A car won't always make the same power every day. Although I thought this was going to.
Well, on that topic, we have even found every time we'll do an episode, and even before we do an episode, on one particular day, within a 20-minute period of doing 4 or 5 0 to 100 runs,
You'll get a good one.
yeah, there will be one which usually way outshines the others, where you just get the right bit of bitumen, the right amount of power, the vehicle's liking it, the gear shifts are sweet, into the sweet spot, everything. And that's probably worth noting. Although we didn't break the record with the XHP update, it was way more consistent.
Yes. I don't think on any given day, I don't think we've done 3 4.7 runs in this car before. We've done 2. We've done 2 4.7s, but I don't think we've ever done 3.
Yeah.
And even when we did that 4.6 2 days ago now, when we were testing the walnut effect, we only got one 4.6.
Yeah. And then the others were 4.8, 4.9. So, leaning on the pro side of XHP, it has brought the average time down, and we did a lot of runs today, and got a lot of 4.7s. I'd say that's a win. Honestly, although it's not broken the record, in realistic, if you're street racing or versing other cars more consistently, you're going to have a faster time.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's improved the drivability tenfold. It feels like a more modern car now.
Yep.
Something I just want to mention as well, a lot of guys don't realise, with the M135s and M140s with the ZF8 speed, the tacho movement isn't linked to the RPM
directly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you click that paddle, the needle will go to where it should be once the gear is finally engaged, and it gives you this false sense of speed on the shifts. It's something when I was reading about guys that do custom tunes for the ZFs in the UK, they brought this comment up, because if you get a 5 Series that's not an M Lite with a ZF8 speed, it looks like it's not shifting as fast as an M Lite.
Yeah, and you go, why?
But it's a feature of the M Lights that they actually move the tacho to where the RPMs will be once the shift is finished, so it makes it feel faster.
And it does just that. It's the first time you experience one of those M Lights with the ZF8s change gear.
The tachos just go...
It is mind-blowing, yeah. And I guess that's why they do it. It's a pretty cool feature, to be fair.
Yeah, look, it's definitely better for driving around. We haven't beaten our time, but we're bloody close, and that road is such a crappy road. We really need to get it down to the good surface, but with all this stuff that's going on in the world at the moment, we just can't get to that good surface at the moment.
It's probably worth noting as well that it's actually the same fuel in the car. So it's just a few less litres, because we are quite close to it. Like everything we could do, it was the same. Obviously, we're the same people, same time of year, the weather's the same. So it is unusual. And
how's that going through the gears?
It's so smooth.
That was probably third throttle as well.
These cars are just becoming the best tuner package, because it's not like an automatic anymore. There's no sluggishness, there's no...
We've got to end this video, but before we do, I want to ask some guys for advice, because now the way that XHP have done their license packs, I actually have the custom module now, so I can change shift pressures, torque loads, shift points, and all that sort of thing. And something I did notice on the runs today, in sports mode, it seems to be shifting in first to second at just over 6,000 RPM. That's with my foot flat out.
Through the stepper.
Yeah, where the older, faster times, I reckon I used to see that 7,000 RPM. So if you've had a chance to actually tweak your settings with XHP, or if you bought the module years ago,
yeah.
let us know what you're doing with the custom settings on your ZF6.
Yeah, if that can be changed or tweaked within the app that's now available for everyone with the update, we want to change those settings and see if we can go even faster.
Yeah. All right, let's just demonstrate that downshifts again.
It's so good.
It's weird. It definitely never did that. Not in sports mode. You get downshifts with the manual,
but with them, you don't even need to pull down a gear, do you? This car does it for you.
Gets along pretty quick now. There's another one. All right, let's end it off there. Thank you very much for watching. If you got any thoughts on XHP or what you've done with yours,
yeah, any custom settings?
I'm happy with it. Even though we haven't broken the tyre, I'm definitely not taking it off. The car is a better vehicle with the XHP on there, but we're going to be open with you guys. We didn't go faster.
Yeah, what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next one.